Hi, my name is Elias and welcome back for daily Formula News. As the fight in the front of Formula 1 has got more intense, the key to success has been in bringing the best upgrades without hitting snag. The missteps taken so far this year by Ferrari, Red Bull, Aston Martin and Mercedes are in contrast to McLaren team has so far nailed all the developments it had brought to MCL38. As a rival pounder just why McLaren has managed to get things so right and others have got them wrong. An interesting theory has gathered some momentum is that the story of the 2024 season is simple one. It is about who has got the best wind tunnel. The link between McLaren doing so well with its car and having the newest of current generation of wind tunnel has not been discredited by paddock and said as a pure coincidence. Indeed, as Red Bull tries to get the bottom of why the development of its RB20 has gone straight this year, it is understood to be increasingly considered that its problem originates from its own Bedford wind tunnel. Its modernized facility that was originally built during the Cold War. It was during when Red Bull boss Christian Horner let slip after the Italian GP about the issue the team is facing with its car. He said, "It is not easy and that when something not working on the car, you end up with different reading from your simulation tools and they don't coverage. Then you got three sets of data, you got TFD, you got wind tunnel and you got track. Obviously the one that really counts in the track data is to develop it. It's like telling the time with three different watches. You got the focus on the tool that's going to give you the most value of compute. And of course the track data is the most reliable. The current situation means Red Bull cannot count down the days kicking out. Until its new state-of-the-art wind tunnel is up and running in Milton Keynes-based. The situation among the top team is not just about having a wind tunnel that does not give you wrong data. Instead, it is about how much better the data coming out of your wind tunnel is at your position. With the current generation of ground effect cars so sensitive to ride height and underfloor aerodynamics, the more accurate your reading and the closer the correlation is your real world, the better the hit rate to develop your car will be. Higher quality data can be held by a more advanced wind tunnel, with the teams pursuing several key features these days, some of which have been implemented by Ferrari after its wind tunnel down for several weeks this summer of refurbishment, as a part of lesson learned from the high-speed bouncing problem so quoted of guard with Spanish GP upgrade. The team committed to make some improvement to its wind tunnel. Sources say that originally this was mainly to do with a better angle simulation to help mimic the airflow of a car as it's turned through the corner. After all, when teams require cars to produce downforce, they are not traveling in straight line. They are rotating, pitching and yawing against the airflow as they transition through the band. So channels have to be able to replicate this as much as possible. But having committed to shut down its tunnel for an upgrade, Ferrari is understood to have also decided to go all and it take things further than originally planned, with the revamp its rolling floor also be complete. This is something other teams have done too, so are all the standards for a shiny smooth metal surface to offer consistent aero platform to check on aerodynamics. The current cars ask for something different. With underfloor airflow absolutely critical to the performance of ground effect cars and them so sensitive to the track surface beneath them, teams have realized that their tunnel learning are better with a floor that simulates real life, and F1 cars do not rise up shiny metal surfaces. Instead, the preferred solution now is for rubber tip materials to be used for the rolling floor. These have raw surfaces so better simulated distributed airflow that is generated by real-world asphalt. As one senior team figure explained that every bump of stone and the gap in the asphalt help create a small vortex under the car as it is part of the top and it's managing this tiny airflow imperfection as they travel down the floor that is unsealed to deliver performance in the real world. Teams are understood to have gotten so far advanced with their use of these router rolling road surfaces that they have different tips that simulate that varying track surfaces that are introduced on the calendar. The airflow under a car in the road venue like Bahrain will be very different to the smoothness of somewhere like Montreal. One engineer suggested that some teams may even now be 3D printing rolling road track surfaces so they accurately recreate individual tracks. There are others areas where the latest wind tunnel are so better too, and that come down to measuring the data. Aston Martin engineering director Luca Verbato talked recently about a potential advantage that McLaren has coming from more advanced sensor which help provide more precise and better feedback on what is happening in the channel. Ferbatto said, "If I'm wrong, the last wind tunnel that was developed in F1 was 20 years ago. So there is a lot of technology change. So imagine, in terms of loss visualization, there are tools nowadays that didn't exist 20 years ago. You could take a wind tunnel 20 years ago and upgrade it with new technology. But it's never be the same as if you start with a brand new one and think how you would do it from scratch and what's the best out there. Today it's possible to scan the flow in different areas of the car. It is something more modern than the tools such as sample scale that were used years ago. The addition of sensors allows us to check quality of the flows in many parts of the cars. It is little wonder that Aston Martin itself is excited about the prospect of its own new wind tunnel coming on lap in time for the development of its 2026 car. It's clear that potential benefits that teams see from having the latest and best wind tunnel, which is why Ferrari was prepared to shut down mid-season to get its revamped ahead of this winter. Folk outside McLaren know exactly what technology is inside. It's a new working tunnel, and even a real video to the team did explaining the facilities just here. Said it could now show off and of its internal working. Team boss Andrea Stella makes no bounds of the new wind tunnel. It's working being a help with what is happening on track right now. However, he suggests it is not the complete as well, because he thinks a key elements that cannot be ignored is the human elements of making use of the data coming out from it. Stella said, "I think in terms of wind tunnel, it does help the fact that we can lean on wind tunnel to the latest technology. Because we are dealing with the complex aerodynamics, I think the evolution of these cars has led to some challenges physics, and I think that's where other teams, including McLaren, are kind of struggling to easily generate developments. However, I think more than the wind tunnel. Ultimately, if you have competitive car on track, it is merit of entire aerodynamic team. There is no tool that drives itself. A tool is a tool as such because it's used by human. So for me, the praise goes to aerodynamic team that since we started the work last year, they have been able to achieve such success rate in terms of development." Aston Martin, located at a new campus in Silverstone for just over a year now, has been handed the keys to one of the games of the site, its wind tunnel. This will allow the English team to improve its research in aerodynamic developments, especially since it did not have a facility of this kind until now. The team's engineers are now entering a period of testing and calibration of the fine-tune the final setting and make this wind tunnel operation before 2025. The commissioning aims to ensure that the flow shaking the car model is aligned with our expectation. It may take 2 or 3 months to be finalized, announced Luca Ferbatto, technical director of engineering at Aston Martin. The commissioning of this wind tunnel should be timely to fine-tune the settings of their single-seaters that will be on the track in 2025, and the team will be able to fully benefit from its dose of 2026. As indicated Ferbatto, it will be ideally suited to start the development of the 2026 car, which is allowed from January 2025. I think the 2025 car will be continued to be developed, but there is fine balance between what you put in for 2026 and when you put in for 2025. Let me subscribe and share your reaction about wind tunnel upgrades.